So today we're going to look at linear system slash intersection. So linear system is just a funny way to say where two things intersect or where two things come together. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a situation, you have a question that proposes two situations. Then you're going to find out where they intersect and kind of make conclusions off. So your steps of this is write two equations. Okay, so two equations for the two things that you're presented with. Graph both lines. Today we're going to use Desmos. Desmos also comes with a phone app. Find the point of intersection between the two, then make conclusions from the point of intersection. So we'll do the first one here. It's a little bit easier. So you decide to make some money and begin tutoring online math students from Ross. Okay, but your evil twin also decides to tutor students. The equation below describes the cost of each person. You are going to, the cost for you is going to be $20 per hour. The cost of your evil twin is going to be $10 per hour plus $100. Let's just graph that. We're not going to worry about the questions right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to desmos.com in order to graph this. Okay, once you get the Desmos, you'll get something that looks like this. We're just going to click Start. Then we're going to type in the two equations. So my two equations were cost equals $20 per hour. So you're going to be the red line. Well, your evil twin is going to be the opposite line, which is cost equals $10 per hour plus 100. So you're going to look here and you go, okay, what's going on here? The two lines are out of whack. Let's zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. And you'll see that the blue line here crosses 100, which kind of makes sense, which that's our y-intercept. Our line here starts at 0 because we don't have a y-intercept. It goes up. If we kind of drag our mouse on it, it can show it can go up $20 per hour. So once we're at 1 hour, it costs $20. So let's find the intersection. So if we go across here, you'll eventually find where there's a dot here. I don't know if anyone can see that dot prior to it, but there's a dot right here. Shows where it intersects. So it intersects at 1020. Okay, so 1020 is our intersection. So let's go back here and write down. So our intersection's at 10, 20. What does that mean? Well, that's x, y, right? In this case, x equals hours and y equals cost. So the point of intersection is at point of intersection happens at 10 hours, both cost $200. So let's answer the question. After how many hours do both equal? Well, this part here. So hypothetically, both are equal for 10 hours. Now the second question says, when would it be to the customer's best interest to hire you? Okay, so let's go back to the graph. So you're the red, we remember. So essentially, when's it in best interest? Well, you'd rather be cheaper, right? If I only needed a person for an hour, after an hour it cost me $20 for you. Your evil twin would cost $110. So essentially, the red line is under it. Okay. So up until 10 hours, I'd much rather have you as a customer, you as a tutor. But after 10 hours, if you look, the red line's higher. And actually, the evil twin is the better one. We go back here. Let's do this in blue. before 10 hours, you should hire me. Okay? So that's the first one. We graph them, we compare them, and make conclusions off it. And we kind of take a look at what the X and Y represent as we do this. So let's do this. So you need to buy a new phone. Phone 1 costs $50 per month, while phone 2 costs $40 per month plus $100 to buy the phone. After how many months will the phones cost the same amount? All right, so step 1, and let's do this. Let's put X and Y over here as we make an equation. So phone 1 will be in black, right? So the cost of phone 1 is $50 per month, okay? The cost of phone 2, which we'll do in blue, is $40 per month plus $100. So let's take a look here. Our Y value is going to be cost. Our X value is months. So let's go on step 2. Let's graph these. Let's go back to Desmos. I'll erase these equations. Now our first one was the cost equals $50 per month. The second one was cost equals $40 per month plus 100. I think that's what the question stated. Yep. So if we look here, they're apart. The red starts at 0, which makes sense because we don't have a y-intercept. The blue's going to start up higher. So we're just going to scroll up here until we see them cross over. And we see here, we kind of scroll up, finally we see a dot. 10 500 is our intersection point. 10 500 is our intersection point. Oops, wrong one. So, 10 500. So what does that mean though? Remember, this is X, this is Y. So that means months, comma, cost. So they're going to be equal at 10 months. They're going to have the same cost. So I ask how many months, after how many months will the phones be the same amount? Okay, so that's easy. So after 10 months, the phones cost the same. And if we take a look here, and we can really scroll out here, the red one in the long run becomes the more expensive one. The blue is actually cheaper. So the red at the very first would cost us less, right? But then after it costs us more. So this is our last question for examples. So you go into Vegas with your family and decide to have a night on the town. You have two choices for transportation. Gary's limousines cost $8 per hour plus $400 up front, or Patty's party bus costs $120 per hour and $20 upfront charge. Okay. When should you pick Gary and Patty? So step 1, let's make our equations. So let's make Gary. And over here, I'm going to write my X and Y. Let's figure out what they mean. So our equations. The cost, we're looking for cost, is $80 per hour plus $400. Where Patty, the cost for Patty is $120 per hour plus $20 sign-up fee. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at what this means though. So it looks like the X is for hours and the Y is for cost. So let's graph these on our decimals. 80 plus 420. So cost equals 80x plus 400. And this one was 120 plus 20. Cost equals 120. 120h plus 20. I realize I made this one. So our blue line sets lower apparently. So we're going to scroll out. You can scroll as much as you can. And, oh, there's our dot right there. You kind of have to look for it. So 9.5 and 1060. Okay, so 9.5 comma 1060. Is that our number? 1160. So we have to remember this is xy, so it is hours, comma, cost. So that means at 9.5 hours, they both cost the same for $1,160. So when should you pick Patty and when should you pick Gary? Well, let's get this all the way up here. So I should pick Gary. Let's do Patty first. Patty, if now she's going to start lower, right? Because her initial fee plus her first hour, like when I set both at 0, it's going to be lower. It's only going to cost 20. So I should pick Patty if I need a drive for less than 9.5 hours, and pick Gary for a trip longer than 9.5 hours. Okay, so we kind of take the peek here. Now you can take a look here back to where we and say, okay, our second one here is in blue or purple, and the purple starts lower. That's how I knew Patty was that. Okay, so that kind of shows you how to do some intersection questions. We're going to have about 6 intersection questions, and I'll have like a little quiz or something for you to do after that. Okay, thank you.